What is hello in French? Allô? Oh, bonjour. Oh my God. We had an early... it was good. That's a good one. But we... that's a good one. Nitro Nights. Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Nitro Nights. My name is Steffi and today we're going full steam ahead in first gear because it's all about karting. Just about every professional racer has started their careers in a kart while still being in the early stages of life. That's why we want to devote ourselves to the question, what makes karting the easiest way to get into professional racing? Therefore, we're going to talk to Arthur Lehouck about his personal karting experiences and what lessons he has learned from them. We also asked you guys on Twitter what game would be your counterpart to karting that got you started in sim racing. Let us know your answers in the comments below. And while you haven't named it yet, there is one game that bridges the gap like no other. A karting game that many of you are probably looking forward to, KartKraft. It's still in early access, but already looks pretty damn promising. So let's see how our editor's first impressions turned out.
Many games have already taken a shot at the purest form of racing, karting. With KartKraft, an indie studio has been trying to achieve the perfect karting simulation now for several years. So let's find out if developer Black Delta has found the secret formula or whether the game gets stuck in first gear. KartKraft from Australian developer Black Delta has been in the making for quite some time now. The game has been available on Steam since 2016 and entered early access in 2018. That still continues till today. And yes, a lot has happened since the initial release. New karts, new classes, new tracks. Since the worldwide pandemic, the update cycle has slowed down a bit recently, which is of course fair enough. But KartKraft's future is looking really bright. Publisher Motorsport Games only recently acquired the game, as well as the entire development team, and is aiming for a full release later this year. But where do things stand at the moment? Is KartKraft already fun even in early access? What's currently included in the purchase? And what features are still to come? Let's start with the most important thing, gameplay. And yes, it is exactly as we imagined it. Unlike other sim racing games, many will probably know exactly how a kart behaves in real life, as most of us have likely been behind the wheel of one. And yes, that's exactly what it feels like. The steering's very direct and stiff, which means that you have to constantly try to keep steering movements small and take the turns very precisely to keep the rear under control. It's a load of fun and just drags you in when you're trying to hit the record-breaking times. The graphics are also a real help. The development team is relatively small, but when it comes to details and visuals, KartKraft can definitely keep up with the genre giants like ACC. This is mainly down to the fact that both games share the same engine. The Unreal Engine 4 is pretty impressive, with beautiful light and shadow effects and a very coherent look overall. Looks good, plays well, sounds like a full-price title up to this point. But appearances can be deceptive. You see, all the content in KartKraft is made with a lot of love. You can see this in the menus when you take a closer look at the different karts. It's beautifully detailed and modeled down to the tiniest detail. Even when you take a look at the tracks, all of them are laser scanned and therefore feel simply perfect and just right. This is truly a sim racer's game that everyone would want. But here's the thing, after a good 2 hours, you've actually seen everything. There's currently 5 tracks, 7 layouts, and strictly speaking only 3 different karts. Apart from a training mode, a simple race mode in which you compete against the AI, as well as a time trial mode, there's not really much in the game yet. Well, there is an online mode, but it's still in beta, which is why you're not allowed to race right out of the box. However, the goals that Black Delta has set for the online skirmishes already sound really promising. Skill-based matchmaking, league support, and the chance to build your own kart up from a bare chassis. Whether a niche for esports can emerge here remains to be seen on how the fan base accepts the game. But with the right execution, KartKraft could become a real insider's tip in future. It's easy to summarize that Black Delta is simply still a small studio, even though it is equipped with truly extraordinary potential. But all in all, the content package is still very narrow. Now, of course, it's all a question of time, money and workforce, but a silver lining is now appearing on the horizon. KartKraft is nowhere near earning its stripes yet, but it's still managed to convince publisher Motorsport Games to buy out Black Delta. It remains to be seen how KartKraft develops under this new flag, but we're definitely curious to see where this ride in first gear takes us. The foundations have already been laid. Everything KartKraft does, it does cleanly, neatly, and with a lot of passion for karting. So if the newly founded studio Motorsport Games Melbourne continues to hone this diamond in the rough with even more dedication and financial resources, KartKraft may become the surprise of the year.
Well, I think I haven't promised you too much. This game looks amazing and we are already so excited about its full release, hopefully this year. Today's Nitro Nights guest also gained a lot of experience in karting. He is a successful racer both in real life and in esports. Joining us live, welcome Arthur Lehouck from the Williams esports team. Hi.
Hey, hello. Thanks for having me here.
Arthur, first of all, have you ever seen or played a karting game before? What are your first impressions of KartKraft?
I test KartKraft when it was released in the beta version like 4 or 5 years ago, I think. I tried it because I wanted and I was curious to see if it was possible to make a good karting game, because I know it's really hard to make it possible. But I tried it with some friends and we had a good fun on it, good battle. So yeah, I'm excited to test it again.
Yeah, nice. We're also very, very excited about its full release. You also started karting very early in your life. I saw a video on YouTube of the young Arthur. I think it's from 2012, so you were 13 years old. You were on the kart track. How did you get into karting back then?
Thanks, but now the video will make a tons of view on YouTube, so I don't think it's good for me.
Oh, you look so good in this video.
Thanks. But yeah, I came to karting thanks to my father, because my father was doing some NASCAR races in Europe. So I would say that I was part of this racing world since I'm really young. I started karting at 7 years old, and I managed my way step by step to be in the best karting driver in France. So yeah, everything was possible thanks to my father. So I really want to thank my father and also my mother for everything they did for me.
Wow, you were so young. And now you're a competitive iRacing player, a sim driver for the Formula E, and also a coach for the virtual racing school. To what extent did you benefit from karting to do what you do now?
I think karting helped me a lot to give me a lot of experience about how to race, how to go really fast on the track, because in karting it's not like in Formula One. You don't have one karting which is 1 second or 2 seconds faster than everyone else. The only thing you can go faster is to put a good driver in the kart, and it's the driver who is doing the difference. So it's really nice to learn how to race. Also, it's really important to understand the feeling of the kart, and if you are planning to do some races in karting or in car in the future, it's really important to give a good feedback on what the karting is doing, so the mechanics or your engineers can do some settings on it and make it faster, and that's how you win races.
Yeah. So you started at the age of 7. That's really, really young. Is there a certain age to start with karting? And do you have any tips for beginners?
I think the earliest you can start it, the best it is, because for those who haven't started or have a big experience in karting, I think the best thing to do is to focus on yourself, to do your best, to try to understand what you are doing wrong and what you are doing correctly. Stay calm. Do a lot of practice. I remember when I was young, I was each weekend on a karting track. So a ton of laps. And what my father was saying is that I needed to work a lot at school because it's also really important.
Yeah, and if you want to do competitive, practicing. Arthur, thank you so much for your insight on this topic. We're going to do a little break before we jump into our quickfire rounds. So I'm going to ask you some random questions and you need to answer as spontaneously as possible. Your favorite car?
Porsche 911.
Personal hero of esports racing?
Michael de Jong.
Favorite racing game?
iRacing.
Of course. Favorite driver?
Fernando Alonso.
And the last one, kart or SimRacing?
Karting.
Nice, well done, Arthur. We're almost done, but there's still one thing you need to prove yourself in. It's the Trackmania Hot Lap. So here's the thing. You get 3 minutes to complete your fastest possible lap time. You can reset at any time given as long as you finish at least 1 lap. All right?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, see you on the other side. You guys know I love talking to our guests, but still my favorite part of this show is the Trackmania Hot Lap. And now it's Arthur Lehouck's part to do his best lap time. Let's go, Arthur. Okay, here it is. 3 minutes time to put your fastest lap time on the board. No pressure. No. You just need to beat Emily Jones if you want to be P1 with 50.713 seconds.
That's a fast lap time.
Yes, it is. Have you played this game before?
Yes.
Okay.
I was doing a lot of Trackmania before when it was released, but it's been a long time I didn't drove it. I was playing too much Trackmania, so I prefer to stop it because I had to focus on iRacing or.
Yeah. But you're doing really good. The first part of the track was really good. And this is actually the hardest part of it.
That was a really nice turn wall.
Yes. You're
trying to not touch your wall.
You're doing really, really good, Arthur. Do you have a goal? Do you want to be P1? Or at least?
Yes, I want to beat Emily Jones.
Okay. Well, no pressure, but if you really want to beat Emily Jones, then you need to finish at least one lap. Okay, but looking good right now. Your start is really, really amazing. You restarted!
Okay. This one is a good one. Maybe
Okay.
1 minute 10 to go. Okay.
Yes,
lot of
I think
now.
you need to finish 1 lap now to make it on the board. So no mistakes allowed right now. I think I also feel your pressure. Good one. That's a good one. Okay. Yeah. Are you playing safe now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Good decision.
I don't want to be last.
After this one, you cannot do another one. I'm so excited. Yeah, let's see. A really, really good one. 52.1. That makes you P3, right?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
I thought you all.
Yeah, P3. That's a really, really good one, Arthur.
Yeah, quite happy.
Yeah, really, really nice. This brings us to the end of this show with a really, really nice place on our board. Thank you so much for joining us today, Arthur.
Thanks. It was a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
If you want to watch more fancy sim racing content, you should definitely check out our very first episode of Epic Factor on our YouTube channel. We've visited Coanda SimSport in their team house in northern Germany and talked to none other than Joshua K. Rogers. And don't forget to visit our homepage, overtake.gg, create your own account, and never miss any esports racing news again. We will be back with another episode of Nitro Nights on April 22nd. Until then, stay safe and buckle up.